I want to get the read right now from Missouri Republican Congressman Sam Graves. Now, Congressman, you've been worried about the ratcheting up of the back and forth on this trade, friction. The president seemed to intimate, maybe with the Europeans, maybe with that guy to the European Commission, they can cobble together their own deal. And that might down the road, he didn't say that in this session, that down the road bring China to the table. What do you think?
Well, that's the bottom line is we want to bring him to the table, and we want to get the negotiations going. For far too long, the Chinese have been, throwing the United States around when it comes to trade deals, and we get the raw end of that. The short term, it could be a little rocky, but in the long term, and that's what the president's trying to do, is play the long game, is to get a much better trade deal.
Do you think in the end we will? And because some of your colleagues say if we go about it the way the president is, by essentially, I think Rand Paul, you were paying off farmers with a $12 billion, stipend to weather the tariff storm, that's not the way to do it. What do you think?
Well, I think what the president's trying to do there is just, do a short-term, some short-term help. He's trying to let farmers know he's got their back while we go through this and negotiate a better deal, and that's what we're working on.
But do you worry, though, Congressman, that short-term help for one group will be short-term help expected of another group and another group and another group?
And that could happen. That is the worry. And to be quite honest with you, farmers would rather have, we'd just rather have more access to markets and focus on that rather than a handout. Commodity prices are a very, very volatile thing. They've always been volatile. We didn't have a trade war back in 2008, and we saw prices the same point. So they will eventually come back up. It's just how long that takes. But prices are very volatile when it comes to any commodity.
Do you worry that this could be wiping out all the gains from the tax cut? I know you folks in the House are looking at a tax cut 2.0. It might go nowhere in the Senate, but it's certainly going somewhere in the House. But that this takes all that away?
I don't think so. I think most people understand that this is, I mentioned earlier, this is a long game, and that's what the president's trying to do. We want fair trade deals for a long time to come, and it's going to take some negotiation, and tough negotiation. For the first time, we've got a president out there that is working very hard to get better deals, and that's what we need for all American workers and farmers.
Congressman, thank you for taking the time and your patience.